What is up, team? It's your boy Sledge from the SledgeIncTeam, back with another video. And today we gonna be talking about Chase Bank acquires the Apple Card. Now, we already knew Chase Bank was gonna acquire the Apple Card. I mean, everybody was talking about it last year. I even made a video about it about about 5 or 6 months ago. But to get right into it, y'all know how we do. I'm gonna keep it real with you. This card is trash. It's not trash, but it's trash. First things first, we gonna read straight from the website of CNBC on the agreement between the Apple Card and Chase Bank. So let's get into it. JP Morgan Chase has reached a deal to take over the Apple credit card from its original issuer, Goldman Sachs, the two banks said Wednesday in separate releases. Now, Goldman Sachs was bleeding money, just losing money with the Apple Card. So they've been trying to get up off the Apple Card for a minute. And like I say, I made a video about it over 5 months ago because I figured that Chase might be the bank that was willing to take the risk to pick up the Apple Card. And here we are today. But let's get right back into this article. The arrangement, completed after a year of negotiation between the parties, means that the giant in credit cards and retail banking overall will grow even more, because we all know that Chase is the largest bank in America. JP Morgan would take on over 20 billion in card loans from Goldman, which began to pivot away from consumer finances in 2022. So yeah, man, the Apple Card got $20 million in debt out there that, for the most part, I think people use their Apple cards to finance the Apple products that they either don't want to pay in full for or they can't pay in full for, so you get no interest on that. From what I read, there's not going to be any difference in the way you use your Apple Card for probably the next 2 years. All right, so let's get back into this. JP Morgan said that the deal would take about 24 months to close and that it will book a $2.2 billion provision for credit losses when it reports fourth quarter 2025 earnings next week. $2.2 billion provision for credit losses. $2.2 billion. Consumers will continue to tap the card's existing perks and will continue to run on MasterCard's network, the bank said. Man, I thought they was having issues. And you know what's funny? The video that I made was about the Apple Card replacing the Freedom Flex. But then I found out the Freedom Flex, the issue that they had with the Freedom Flex was the Freedom Flex runs on the MasterCard network while all the other Chase cards are running on Visa. So adding another MasterCard, I don't know how that works out for Chase, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they got something in the works. The rest of the article is just formalities, but it is something that I wanted to point out. The very last sentence of the article says, JP Morgan is also planning to offer an Apple savings account as part of a bundle of financial services the tech giant offers. The Wall Street Journal first reported on the deal. Now, if they're acquiring the Apple Card, also moving over the Apple savings account, I think for Apple, this opens up the door for more products over at Chase. Because it sounds like, because this deal took so long in order to come into fruition, I feel like Apple and Chase are in it for the long road, at least for right now, until Chase start losing too much money from them. And hopefully for them, they don't. But I think for right now, they're in the long run. And I think the big win for Apple is going to be not that they're in the Chase ecosystem. I think down the line, we could see annual fee Apple cards. I really think we could see a $99 $95 Apple Card, and then maybe a more high-end Apple Card because, according to all the sources, Apple phone users are usually high spenders. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, that's what they say. Now I know some of y'all are gonna be like, but Sledge, what does acquiring the Apple Card do for Chase? Well, I wrote down 3 things that I believe that acquiring the Apple Card will help Chase with. So let's get to the first one. The first one is going to be instant access to a premium tech forward customer base. Yes, instant access to a premium tech forward customer base. Apple Card users are usually younger. As I said, they say in reports, higher income, and that demographic is a demographic that Chase needs. They want those younger credit card users to come over to them. Not to say that they don't have them now, but picking up the whole portfolio from Apple, including a savings account, the card and the savings account will bring over those younger users that will have a potential to be with them for the long run. Now, the second one would be to strengthen Chase's position in mobile first credit. We already know that with the Apple Card, using the Apple Card, you get more out of the tap to pay than you do the physical card. In saying that, if there's most people are, I won't say most people, but a lot of people use mobile wallet, but still a lot of people that don't. By acquiring Apple, those users are going to be using mobile wallets, which Intel may end up having users put their other Chase cards, their Freedom Flex, their Freedom Unlimited, their Sapphire Preferred, Reserve, the co-branded cards into mobile wallets when they weren't doing it before. And last but not least, a massive scale with low acquisition costs. Apple already has done the heavy lifting and distribution. Well, Goldman Sachs has. Goldman Sachs has already distributed these cards. Chase would inherit millions of active card holders without traditional marketing spend. So I'm sure they're gonna market the Apple Card because they're Chase. They run ads, but we already have millions of Apple Cards already out in the hemisphere. Therefore, Chase doesn't have to do as much work. Now, will this work for both sides? I gave you my thoughts on it, and I want to know yours because although we already knew that this was probably going to happen, we still have at least 2 years before this deal is 100% complete. It's your boy Sledge. Like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Well, if you like this content or was just entertained, hit that thumbs up, share this video, but most importantly, drop a salute emoji in the comment section. And remember, the separation is in the preparation. It's your boy Sledge. Salute. Subscribe to the channel. Join the membership. Join the membership. Join the membership. Salute.